We're at the Open Door Gala in support of the Homes for Heroes Foundation, and tonight the guest speaker is legendary Canadian astronaut Colonel Chris Hadfield. Chris Hadfield is a colonel in the Royal Canadian Air Force, an astronaut who's flown in space 3 times and done 2 spacewalks. He was commander of the International Space Station, and he's also a downhill ski racer, and sometimes he plays guitar. Colonel Hadfield captivated people around the world with the first ever music video from space, his cover of David Bowie's Space Oddity, recorded on the International Space Station. Through his leadership, showmanship, and character, he has brought the wonder of space to millions of people around the world and proudly represents Canada and the Canadian space program on the world stage. We have a huge surprise for the guests tonight. Colonel Hadfield will be performing David Bowie's Space Oddity with the Royal Canadian Navy Band of HMCS Chippewa.
We got sound? All right. You know this one? Okay. All right, here we go. Control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Lock your Soyuz hatch and put your helmet on. Ground control to Major Tom. Commencing countdown, engines on. Detach from station and may God's love be with you. This is ground control to Major Tom. Blue, and there's so much left to do. And there's so much left to do.
Wow, thank you. I'm still a bit blown away by all that. That was kind of fun.
When a young Chris Hadfield saw the moon landing on television, he had his heart set on being an astronaut. And he thought, what do astronauts do? Astronauts fly. So he joined the Air Cadets when he was 13 years old, and by the time he was 15, he was already flying gliders. He joined the Royal Canadian Air Force and became a fighter pilot. He was the first Canadian to intercept a Soviet bomber in Canadian territory during the Cold War. And the Soviets were not displaying hostile intent that day, so they didn't have to open fire, but he was able to snap a photo while he was piloting the aircraft. In 1992, he was selected from thousands of potential applicants to become one of Canada's new astronauts. And he said in an interview with Wired that he was pleased that he wasn't the only one on the team with a mustache. There was Dave Williams as well. In 1995, he had his first spaceflight on the shuttle Atlantis. And in 2001, he helped build the Canad-2 arm on the International Space Station. During one of his spacewalks, he was temporarily blinded while outside of the space station. This is an incredibly dangerous situation, and he has a great TED Talk about it you should check out, where he talks about being prepared and being knowledgeable and able to conquer your fear and staying cool under pressure.
Once I get you up there, I'll be holding you so awfully near. You might all the angels cheer just because we're together.
Alright, we're waiting in line to get our picture taken with Colonel Hadfield. I'm the sucker who's behind the camera. I had to get off the stage to do the video, but these guys, how did it feel to perform on stage with Colonel Hadfield?
Oh, it was great. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I don't know if I'll ever have another chance like that again, but I'm super glad that it happened.
Let's talk a little bit more about why we're here. The goal of this fundraising event is to raise awareness and support for the new Winnipeg Kinsman Veterans Village. The Homes for Heroes mission is to integrate all of our homeless military veterans into the community through the provision of housing and support services across Canada. The concept is that they build communities or villages with housing for homeless veterans and also provide support services so that they're able to reintegrate into society with stable support that they need in order to be successful. Thank you to Homes for Heroes for inviting the Royal Canadian Navy Band of HMCS Chippewa to participate in this fundraising event. It was our absolute privilege to be able to perform with Colonel Chris Hadfield. This is a lifelong memory. I had goosebumps listening to his speech, listening to his words. Everyone here was inspired. We're so lucky to have this great Canadian leader, an example for us all in striving to make our communities a better place. Thank you.